Now you probably know who is the Mac person and who's the Windows person at our house here at Villa Feliz. Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. It's going to be a short episode. A couple of catch-up items, but mainly I got to do some work back here inside the backyard. Our gardener is off this week, so I am tending to all of his tasks, and it mainly has to do with cleanup and tending to some of the plants and the vegetables around here. Let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now this is our lanka tree. It's the jackfruit tree that we have here in the backyard. And I don't know, for those of you who have a lanka in your yard, do you have a lot of these going on this time of year, around the March, April time? We have the leaves are turning, and it's not a big deal. There's no problem because it's repopulating with new growth. I think this is the time of year that it starts dropping. You can see every single day I'm cleaning up all of these leaves back here. I think it's normal for the jackfruit, the lanka tree. Anyway, and yesterday something I did, you might notice that our mango tree right here is a little bit smaller. I did some trimming. I shaped it. I shaped a little bit on the top for aesthetics, and also when you do that, you open up some of the center in the top, and it brings light down inside your mango tree, and it helps with fruit production later on. Also, I know we're probably a little bit late in the season to do this. Normally you would probably do it around the December time frame, but I did some of the trimming of the outside. Since I'm not worried about producing mango this year, next year we're going to focus and spray it. We'll be spraying it with a solution that forces some blooms, where we hopefully will be able to get some fruit on this tree next year. And this will be in its, I think it's about its fourth or fifth year, and I think it will be ready to go ahead and start preparing it for that. Alright, so here we are back at that one pretty mature dragon fruit. I'm going to try to get a picture of it as good as possible. So anyway, you can see there's our dragon fruit. I got a lot of beans, a lot of the stuff that's inside here are green bean vines, and they kind of make it a little difficult to see. But anyway, that is our dragon fruit, and it's about ready to pick because the dragon fruit matures in somewhere between 27 and 33 days. It's a very quick maturing fruit. So we're going to say about a month, and I think we're about at the month. And you're probably asking yourself, when is this ready to pick? Well, the answer is, you see the little leaves on the edge? You see the little leaves that are hanging off, the green ones right there? When the fruit goes from all green to the color of whatever the color of the dragon fruit is going to be, and then the leaves at the very end, they start wilting away, and like they start getting that brown look, like they're going bad a little bit. That's when it's time to pull it off. So I'm going to say we are about 1 or 2 days away from picking this one. And what I'll do, I will share with you when we pick this dragon fruit here. We'll go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you what this particular variety looks like on the inside, and let you know what it tastes like. So expect something in the next couple of days. So I've talked in the past about what I do to keep things green and healthy in the backyard, and one of the things has to do with composting and using natural or organic type of fertilizers inside the back. But occasionally I do use chemical type of fertilizers, specifically something like 10-10-10 or 14-14-14, or maybe something high in nitrogen to get some green boost, which will be something like even, I don't know, maybe 40-00 or something like that. I rarely use those though. I received today, and you probably saw it at the intro this morning with the 2 laptops there's a blue bag, and that was one of our almost like a daily event we have here. It's a delivery from Lazada, and that has some 14-14-14, and I'm going to show you how you can help. About every 3 months you can put some of these down, the fertilizer down around the base of your plant, that help keep it healthy and give it all the nutrients that it needs. Those three, especially those three elements that are normally needed to keep your plants thriving and healthy. All right, so this came in this morning. Oh, and they do such a, they really package these things. And inside here is a bag with a box with a bag. We're gonna have to go another layer. Hold on just a second. Oh, they really package these really well. Anyway, this is what I have. This is called Complete Fertilizer from this company that I ordered from on Lazada, and you can see it's 14, 14, 14. It has the three basic ingredients that you need for healthy plants and vegetables. So we're going to go ahead and broadcast a little bit of this. I'll show you how I do it. There's two main ways that you do fertilizer, and I'll talk about that when we get out to the backyard. For our example today, I'm going to start with our pepper plants back here. I'm going to show you both ways that I apply fertilizer to my plants. And something that's interesting, and a lot of people, what they do, and they kind of, it's not that it's wrong, it's probably less effective. A lot of people will take the fertilizer, and if you look down here at the bottom of the plant, this is our pepper plant here, and at the bottom of the plant, they'll put it right around the trunk. And that's really not the best place to put your fertilizer. Normally what you do, you look at the growth of your tree or your plant, and you look how far do the limbs go out. And you move out towards near the end of the where the limbs are, and you go straight down, and that's actually the best place. Now for pepper plants, maybe a little bit in further, about halfway, but for trees, because they have what's called feeder roots, and the feeder roots go away from the plant. And case in point, something like our mango tree right here, and you would probably come right out to the edge, which is about 1.5 meters away. And right around this area, of course we have a lot of grass here, so it's very difficult, but you can put it there, and it will go through, it will feed both the grass and the roots, the feeder roots of the mango tree. But again, you would go towards the edge as far as possible, because this is where it's more effective, not near the trunk. So what we're going to do, we're going to show the slow release method today. I'm going to take some of my fertilizer here, the 14, 14, 14, and what we'll do is we'll broadcast a little bit around the edge, and then I'll work it in with a claw. I think my claw is over here. We'll take the claw and we'll work it in. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll talk while we're doing that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take some of the 14, 14, 14, and I'm just going to broadcast it around right about this area around the edge. You don't need a lot. We'll put about that much around. And then what we're going to do, just going to kind of work it in a little bit into the soil. Now, you don't have to do this, but I find it's a little bit better doing it this method right here than to leave it right on the top. So it's automatically and when we water this area and the soil is wet, it will help break down the little fertilizer, the 14, 14, 14 that we're putting in here. Now again, it's going to go down right through here, which the feeder roots are going to be right in this area right here. Again, don't do it right up here on the trunk of the plant. Do it out here. Now this is in effect slow release. This is going to be slower. Every time it rains or you water, it will slowly break down a nutrient over a certain period of time, and it will slowly do the fertilizing of your plant. Since this plant is already in good shape right now, and that's all it really needs is slow breakdown, that's good for this pepper plant. But if you have a plant that needs more aggressive, you want it to grow quicker, especially at the very beginning, and maybe it's a little weak or something like that, it doesn't look so good, not so healthy, we're going to show you the next method to help that out. Now what I do when I create my liquid fertilizer from granules, I normally start with a little bit of water. I put some water inside a bucket, and I take my fertilizer, and my ratio is, so what I do, I'll pour it inside here. And what I normally would do, I would probably let it sit for between 12 and 24 hours, and then let it break down. But today's purpose, right, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to break this up a little bit. I'm going to stir it some. I'm going to bring this up to 1 gallon level, and then I'll use this to distribute to some of the plants inside the garden here. Now, some of the plants in here are very early. They're very young. They're seedlings, and that's what this is good for. Like I said earlier, when you want to get a quick injection, say like you see some yellow leaves on some of your plants, and they're a little sickly looking, the quickest way, basically it's like medicine. It will inject some good, healthy, needed nutrients to the plant, and it will help them revive. So let me go ahead and stir this around just a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is add some water. It's going to be earlier. Obviously, it's only going to be within minutes. It won't be the hours that I recommended, but for today's purposes, we're going to go ahead and apply it like this. Now that I've got it kind of mixed up really well, I'm going to take another container that I already put some more water in, and we're going to pour our mixture inside here. It'll make it easier because this has a handle. This old bucket I have here is falling apart pretty bad. So now it is more of a recommended solution here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Main thing is that we get good nutrient to the roots of our plants. Okay, so there are different ways that you can apply it. You can even put it in a sprayer. You can put this in a sprayer, but I'm going to go ahead and hand water. If you have one of those little buckets that have the little sprinkler head on there, that's really the best way. I don't have one of those yet. We still have to get that here at Villa Feliz. So I'm going to go inside the garden. I'm going to apply this to some of the plants. And then in about a week from now, you're going to see some tremendous growth of things inside our garden over here. Okay, so there you have it. We did all the liquid fertilizing, everything that we needed to do inside the raised bed garden. Now I'm going to spend a little bit more time this morning doing some of the long time, the granular, the slow breakdown, and some of the plants around the backyard here as well. But I'm not going to put you through all of that while I'm doing all the tedious work we're doing. It's really not that tedious. Actually, it's kind of enjoying. If you're a gardener, you know what I'm talking about. So something I want to talk about also is, when is the appropriate time to actually put down your fertilizer? Well, if you're putting the granules down, any time is okay doing that. But if you're doing the liquid version inside here, I recommend you doing it first thing in the morning. That way, all that nutrient, the ground is not dried out yet. It's going to all the feeder roots on all of your plants and vegetables, and it has the entire day to work between sucking up all the nutrients from the bottom and using the leaves on the top for that photosynthesis kind of thing that goes on with plants, and allow it to slowly happen during the daytime. It's really probably not good to do it in the middle of the afternoon because the soil just dries up so quickly at that point. Speaking of early morning things, I always try to capture something. If there is something neat, which is almost every day here in the Philippines because it's such a beautiful environment, such a beautiful tropical atmosphere. I captured some yesterday morning when I opened up the window. Occasionally, not very often, but we get this wonderful fog, the moisture in the air, and let me share that with you right now. Ness is making my favorite lunch, which is American hamburgers. Well, anyway, before we close for today, we have one shout out. We have a birthday shout out for today. And today is Labor Day. It's a holiday here in the Philippines. Yay. Labor Day for May 1. So anyway, whose birthday is it today?
Jal Gauda.
Jal Gaula. Anyway, Jal, it's his birthday today on May 1, and we want to wish him a happy birthday. So to you, Jal, we want to wish you a
Happy birthday!
Okay, well, I got the misters going on back here. I don't know, did I get you all wet? Here, let's see. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm getting ready to kick the waterfall on back here on the swimming pool, and I think I'm going to take an afternoon dip after I clean up some of the tools I have from today's episode with doing the fertilizing. Well, I think all of the plants are happy today. All plants got their good feeding of those good nutrients. Anyway, I'm going to close for now. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it informative and maybe a little entertaining. Who knows? If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed, and if you ring that bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, from right here in the Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.